In the translation, if you see, Prabhupada is saying, O Lord, we therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto your eternal form as the personality of Godhead, which you have so kindly manifested before us. Lord has manifested kindly out of His kindness, out of His mercy. The Lord has manifested His form before these four sages, before the devotees. Your supreme eternal form cannot be seen by unfortunate, less intelligent person. So, anatmanam durudayo, such less intelligent people, they cannot, unfortunate they are actually, they cannot see this form of the Lord. But we are so much satisfied in our mind and vision to see it. But we are very satisfied in our mind and in our vision by seeing this form of the Lord. So, this is a very important point which Prabhupada is talking about in the purport here. So, Prabhupada actually explains this Praduschakharta, the Lord manifested this form by His mercy. The Lord manifested this form by the grace of the Lord. So this form was manifested by the grace of the Lord. In the purport, Prabhupada explains this, that actually, why did the Lord manifest this form to them? Why did the Lord manifest this form to them? Because actually, even though they were realized in Brahman, they were guided on devotional path by their father and their spiritual master, Brahma. It was by the grace of Brahma, it was by the grace of spiritual master that the Lord has become pleased now, and the Lord has manifested very kindly this form. So we all understand, it's not possible to actually directly please the Lord, isn't it? We all, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur very clearly says, Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado, yasya aprasadat nagati kutopi. By the grace of the spiritual master, grace of the Lord can be obtained. And if you fail to obtain the grace of the spiritual master, there is no way in spiritual life. No way that you can advance. Actually, this secret is not known, even to the impersonalist. They think the spiritual master is something kind of some instrument. I use it now and I don't require later on. Now I am not in knowledge, I require spiritual master only till my eyes are opened with knowledge. And afterward I am not obliged to him. No, devotees are not like that. Janme janme Prabhu say. Right? We say the spiritual master is life after life, he is our master. So that is the obligation a devotee has, because he knows that without the mercy of the spiritual master there is no possibility. So Prabhupada is saying, the four sages were impersonalists in the beginning of their spiritual life. Correct? In the beginning of their spiritual life. This is the first step in spiritual life they had taken. They had realized Brahman. But afterwards, by grace of their father and spiritual master Brahma, they understood the eternal spiritual form of the Lord and felt completely satisfied. So it was possible because of the grace of Brahma, because of the grace of their spiritual master, that now they are able to see the Supreme Lord face to face, realize Bhagavan. So this is a very important point which Prabhupada is saying, that actually the form of the Lord is not possible to be attained otherwise, without the grace of the Supreme Lord. And the grace of the Supreme Lord can be obtained by the grace of spiritual master. So what happened after they realized, by the grace of the Lord, now they are seeing the form of the Lord, transcendental form of the Lord, now they are seeing. What is their realization? So they are very clearly saying, now we are completely satisfied. This means earlier they were not completely satisfied. If I am saying by seeing something, now I am completely satisfied, this shows that earlier, even though sometimes they were feeling that yes, now they have become realized, but their realization was incomplete. This very clearly shows Brahman realization, Paramatma realization is still incomplete. Even though it is transcendental, even though they are on transcendental platform, that realization is not complete. And Prabhupada is explaining, what does it mean when they are saying they are now completely satisfied by seeing the form of the Lord? In the mind, one can be satisfied by being merged in Brahman, but still the vision will be hankering, because vision is not lost. The living entity is actually having all the senses. Not that just because I have become merged in Brahman, senses are lost. Temporarily, it may be just like when a person is in a sleeping condition, the senses may be sleeping. But that does not mean that senses are dead. Isn't it? Once when we become awake, again the senses will demand. So for some time the senses become inert, because they have no engagement in Brahman. The eyes have no engagement, the ears have no engagement, but they are dissatisfied, they are inert for some time. What happens is, because the senses were so much diseased earlier, they were painful, he becomes little satisfied now. Oh, now it is no more painful. Let us say, with the eyes you are only seeing something very horrible. Then what do you want to do? You don't want to see anything. And then you feel little satisfied. But actually eyes are meant to see. It is not that eyes are meant to become inert. Let us say you are hearing only something very horrible. All day and night something very horrible, something very harsh you are hearing. Then what do? You just close your ears. You don't want to hear anything. Isn't it? But that is not what the ears are meant for. So, the senses, the mind can become, for some time, the mind can become satisfied because the senses have become inert. The mind is no more, running after sense gratification like that. The mind can become peaceful, but still the senses will hanker. And that is what exactly Prabhupada is saying. Even though they felt satisfied in their mind, but still they were feeling hankering in their senses. Their eyes were not satisfied. They were no more anymore attracted to the material beauty, but still they were thinking something else is there. Some other beauty is there. My senses, our senses are still not satisfied. They are hankering for something. And now, after seeing the beautiful form of the Lord, wonderful form of the Lord, now they are satisfied. Earlier, their eyes were not even attracted to any kind of material beauty. Now, continuously they want to see the form of the Lord. This is called satisfaction. Spiritual satisfaction does not mean I have seen once, enough, forget it now. That is material satisfaction. Spiritual satisfaction means more and more they want to see. That is called spiritual hankering. And spiritual hankering gives real satisfaction. You see? Just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, spiritual happiness means it is increasing every step, and at every step you feel completely satisfied. This is great, isn't it? Purna Amrita Swadanam, Pratipadam. Every step you feel Purna Amrita, and this ocean is always increasing also. This is the greatness of spiritual life. Not that I have seen the Lord, now I am fully satisfied, now you go home, I go to my house. No. They are not satiated. They want to see continuously the Lord. And Prabhupada is saying this is how a devotee sees. Why? Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santaha sadeva hridayeshu vilokayanti. Continuously the devotee sees the Lord in their heart. Out of love. Because they have applied the ointment of love, continuously they are able to see the Lord. So, this is another important point which Prabhupada is pointing out, that these 4 Kumaras, earlier they were not completely satisfied, but now having the vision of the Lord, this greatly worshipable form of the Lord once they have seen, now they want to continuously again and again, more and more, they want to see this form of the Lord. But now their vision is satisfied, their mind is satisfied. So they are saying, Nirvritim avapuralam drisho naha. Now we are completely satisfied. But at the same time, they are also thinking about unfortunate people who are thinking, no, now we are satisfied, we are Brahman realized. We don't want anything more. So they are feeling very, very pained for such unfortunate people who are thinking they are intelligent, but actually they are not intelligent. They are less intelligent. So they are saying, Yo anatmanam durdayo Bhagavan pratitaha. That Bhagavan pratitaha, that Lord whose form we are seeing now, unfortunately, even though this form we are seeing continuously now, this form is not seen, this form is covered from the less intelligent people. So Prabhupada is explaining what is the meaning of less intelligent. Do not think Jnanis are very intelligent. Because by the word when we say Jnani means, we are thinking they are Jnanis filled with knowledge. Actually Jnana and Vijnana are different. Theoretical knowledge, practical realization is different. Bhakti is Jnana Vijnana Sahitam. Whereas simply Jnanis are not with Jnana and Vijnana. They have only theoretical knowledge. So, still they are called as less intelligent. Krishna explains that in Bhagavad Gita. Krishna not only calls the people who are worshipping demigods, who do not recognize the eternal form of the Lord, they are after the worship of the devatas. Krishna calls them less intelligent. Similarly, Krishna calls the people who are thinking that, one who has no form has now taken a form. This is Mayavadi's philosophy. Actually, he has no form. For the sake of his devotees, the Lord now has come in touch with matter. He has come in touch with 3 guna. So this form is of 3 guna form, maybe sattva guna form. They think like this. And Prabhupada is saying, because of this offense, because of this conception, the Lord always covers himself. Yogamaya samamritaha. By his Yogamaya, the curtain of Yogamaya always covers this vision from the less intelligent people. So this is also very important to understand that actually control of mind, why it is so important. Control of senses, why it is so important. Otherwise, what will happen? If the mind is uncontrolled, senses are uncontrolled, we are bound to speculate. It's the greatest thing. Not just falling into materialism, getting attracted to material things in this material world. Not only in material life it is dangerous, even in spiritual life uncontrolled mind is dangerous. You see? If we are not able to control the mind and senses, what will happen? The mind will pull us towards speculation. The senses will pull us towards speculation. And that is what Prabhupada is saying. And that is why they are called as less intelligent. Because their mind and senses are not properly controlled. Prabhupada explains that how in Krishna consciousness, it is actually possible that one can control the mind completely. So, very nicely Prabhupada explains, this is possible because of association of devotees. Because of association of devotees. You can see actually that the 4 Kumaras were actually impersonalists, but because of association of spiritual master, their father Brahma, it was possible that now factually they were able to realize the Supreme Personality of God. So Prabhupada explains, we have to make good association if you want to make mind a friend. If you want to make your mind a friend, you have to associate with sadhu. Tasmat satsu sajjeta buddhiman. Intelligent person, what does he do? Intelligent person, he associates with sadhu. Tasmat satsu. Satsu means people who are sat. Sajjeta, he associates with them. Who? Buddhiman. One who is buddhiman. Prabhupada is saying, buddhiman means intelligent person. You must associate with the satsu. Those who are trying for self-realization, they are called sat. Asat means those who are trying for temporary things. And then Prabhupada is saying, what is the result of good association? If we make association, santaha chindanti. Now okay, you are intelligent, you have associated with sadhus. What will the sadhus do? Will the sadhu says, gratify your senses, make your senses more and more, run after, doesn't matter, give me money, I'll give you mantra, do whatever you want, eat nonsense, do whatever nonsense, pay my fees, and still don't worry, you will realize God. No. Prabhupada is saying sadhus are very sharp. Sadhus are like knife. They are ready to cut off all your attachments. So Prabhupada is saying, santaha chindanti. The work of the sanda is to cut off. Chindanti means cut off. Santa means who are pious. They can cut off by their words our attachment to this material world. Their words itself is so powerful. Why? Their words are not, there is something called in Hindi, there is a kahavat, there is a saying, Thota chana baje ghana. Inside there is nothing but he is making too much sound. Not that kind of thing. It is when a person is realized, those words have that power of sword. That's what Prabhupada says, sword of knowledge. So sword of knowledge is not theoretical knowledge. It's a vijnana, it's a realized knowledge. With their realized knowledge, they can cut off your attachments. So Prabhupada is saying, they can cut off with their words, our attachment for this material world. Krishna is presenting his Bhagavad Gita just to cut off. Santa eva chindanti ukti bihi. Chindanti means cut. For cutting something, we require a sharpened instrument. To cut off the mind from attachment require sharpened ukti. Ukti means words. Just as when a person cuts something, there is no mercy. You see? It's like you will sometimes see. With a sharp knife, without mercy, they will cut throat of animal. We cut vegetables, isn't it? We cut the knots. There is no mercy. So Prabhupada is saying, similarly, saintly person speaks to his student. He does not show any mercy. He speaks the truth so that his mind may be cut off from unreal attachment. So when our mind is cut off from unreal attachment, then only it is possible that mind can be attached to real. Isn't it? Otherwise it is not possible. So actually there is a secret Prabhupada is saying. It is only by association of devotees we can actually really control our mind. Then Prabhupada is saying, he explains about how in devotional service, actually when a person becomes realized, he becomes Shanta. He becomes completely satisfied, Trupta. You see? And Trupta is not that I am very satisfied, I am very Trupta, and still in my actions I am showing, still we are running behind material things. Then we are not Trupta. You see? Trupta means it can be seen in our activities, not in our words. It can be seen in our activities. So that also Prabhupada explains. Jnana Vijnana Triptatma. One should have not only theoretical knowledge, but practical knowledge. Simply understanding I am not this body and doing all nonsense about this body is a mistake. So this materialist, these so-called jnanis, they only have theoretical knowledge. I am not this body, I am Brahman, Aham Brahmasmi. But what are they doing? All kind of nonsense. One should have perfect knowledge and demonstrate in practical ways. One who has perfect understanding, I am not this body. What will he find? Prabhupada is explaining. So how will you find? You will find that bodily necessities will be gradually reduced to minimum. There should be practical realization. This is Prashantatma. Mind is calm and quiet, no longer agitated by the attraction of this material encirclement. It becomes Prashant Atma. How it becomes? Because bodily demands are gone. No more senses are agitated. No more senses are craving for material things. Then it has become. So, actually, bhakti means jnana and vijnana together. There was a very interesting one WhatsApp message by some of the devotees mercifully had sent. Very interesting. This I think probably many of you would have read also. So, controlling the mind. It's a very interesting, very beautiful analogy given by Prabhupada, how to control the mind. Sometimes we think, no, I have to satisfy the mind. But people also say if you stop senses by force, all those things, it will be very difficult. But actually Prabhupada explains from a very practical example how mind should be controlled, how senses should be controlled. So, one devotee asked this question, Prabhupada, if the senses are controlled, but mind is contemplating on sense object, is he a pretender or is he becoming purified? That means, forcefully what is he asking is, we are trying to control the senses, we are trying our best. I will not see something material from my eyes, from our ears. We don't want to see. Let us say some cinema posters are there and devotees trying, no, I will not look at all these nonsense things. But still, mind is contemplating on the sense object. So he is trying to control the senses, mind is contemplating. He is asking, is he called a pretender or is he getting purified? So Prabhupada explains very beautifully, no. By controlling the senses, gradually the mind will be controlled. Yes, this is required. Doesn't matter, mind is contemplating, mind is still contemplating on sense object, does not matter. Still, try to take away the mind, take away the senses from the sense object. Because gradually, mind will become controlled. And then Prabhupada is giving the example. You know, the tiger and the lion are trained up to play in the circus. You know how it is done? So Prabhupada is asking. Tiger and lion, they are trained up to do so many things. They are completely controlled. If the master is, one chabuk he takes, does like this, then lion will sit down. If he tells him climb up, he will climb. So that is called circus. Circus means completely in your control. Whatever you want, you can make it to do. So Prabhupada is saying, how does he make him to do? So Dhananjaya, they starve the animal. Prabhupada, no. Pushta Krishna, they feed them every time, whenever they do something. Prabhupada, no. After catching them from the forest, so the lion is very strong. When he is caught from the forest, his senses are very strong. Very difficult to control him. First day he doesn't try to control. What he does is, they are kept within the bar, no eating, 1 week. Idea is to make him weak first. Strong man you cannot control. You make him weak, you can easily overpower him. This is a secret. See? Strong mind, very difficult to control. You weaken it somehow or other, you can control it. So this is what Prabhupada is explaining. Then, after 1 week, the trainer comes. What does he bring? Only whips. He comes and opens the door and makes sound. Prabhupada makes sound. Flosh, flosh, flosh. So already he is hungry and weak. So already the tiger or the lion is very hungry by now. 1 week starvation. He has become completely hungry and he has become very weak. And now what does he do? Now he whips him left and right. See, now he makes him completely afraid. So when he is hungry, when he is weak, that times he frightens him. In this way he becomes fearful. As soon as the man comes, he becomes fearful. Moment the man enters now, because by, he has made him starve, he has made him weak, and now he is also showing him fear. The moment the man enters, lion has become fearful. Then he gives him little food. Take. By giving now little food after starving, now the lion realizes, my God, he is my God. If he wants, he can starve me to death. If he wants, he can make me fearful. If he wants, I can survive. So now for him, this master has become like God. So Prabhupada is saying, then he gives him little food in this way. After all, he is animal. He thinks, this man is my God. He can save me, he can kill me. Then he completely takes to him. Whatever he takes, he takes. Whatever he says, he takes. So Prabhupada now comes to the point. Similarly, if you do not give the ingredients for sense enjoyment, the mind will be controlled. You have to starve the mind. This is important. See? If you are thinking, no, today let me satisfy, tomorrow I will control. No possibility. You have to starve the mind. When you starve the mind, actually, even though for some time it will be like that. Just like it's like itching sensation. Itching is going on. If you control somehow or other for some time, itching will go away. For some time, that patience is required. But if you start itching, it will itch more and more. It will itch more and more. You see? So Vedic literature explains, by gratifying the senses, actually what you are doing, for the time being it looks like satisfied. Isn't it? What you are doing is actually you are pouring ghee, you are pouring butter on the fire. So for some time it looks like it is gone, but actually what you have poured is, it will make it more ignited. So actually the mind has to be starved of sense gratification. That is the way. That is the beginning. Don't give. Mind wants, let me go to restaurant. No, sir. Prabhupada is saying, the mind is saying, go to the restaurant, say, no, not possible. Beat him with shoes. Instead of going to the restaurant, beat the mind with shoes. Then mind will not say, go to the restaurant. So just like the circus man is beating, no, that is also required. Starve also, beat also. Beat the mind with shoes. Then mind will not say, I will go to the restaurant. That is called Swami Goswami. One can control his mind, that is Goswami. You see? So, this is how it is possible to control the mind, and until and unless we are able to control the mind will speculate, and definitely if the mind speculates, we will be bereft of the grace of the Lord, we will be bereft of the mercy of the Lord, which can be obtained only by performing devotional service. We'll stop with this. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.